Hello and welcome everybody, and thank you guys for joining me again. My name is Wilky and we are here with the start of the new series, or repetition essentially, on the hard server. We are doing pro mode silos and monoliths solo. For this week's run we have Rosetta Scourge, we have Slip Up, I don't think I have seen this one before, and we have Get Toughened for the boss mutation. Other than that, I already did this run, so I'm not gonna be covering all the nooks and crannies. I'm gonna be using or running the secret room. I actually do want mods from this run, so there's that. Other than that, I am still in the midst of figuring out one of the builds or stuff like that. So it'll be a bit before I have the mods, pretty much, because buying armor pieces that I might need is not really a big deal. I have currently 18,000 star crumbs again, and I didn't do the weekly purification yet. So in terms of builds, we should have no issues whatsoever. Now, here comes the first part, which I mentioned in one of the other videos. We now have these super anomalies show up in our silos, and honestly, wow, this dude's a bit surfy. Hello, dude, mister. Honestly, it's not a huge deal, but will this dude, like... Okay, this dude is acting... He's like the smooth criminal. Look, what the hell are you doing? Good lord. Yeah, as mentioned before in one of the other videos, I'm not particularly happy with... I have no idea what the hell this guy's doing. I'm not particularly happy with the way the super anomalies work and stuff like that, but I mentioned this in a couple other videos. So yeah, other than this guy surfing along, like, usually they don't bug out as much. I'm not entirely sure what the hell that was. But other than this, we are pretty much just good to go in terms of things. And yeah, that's really all there is to say, other than just gonna be clearing the silo. I'll be covering or trying to fill the void, so it won't be too boring. Interesting. I ran this one earlier. I'm curious to see why there's stuff. In case you're wondering, the whim that I use is the classic floral armor, because I think that is such a great whim to have. It's so cheap to make, and it'll just, you know, it can save your ass. Doesn't necessarily will, but especially not on hard servers, because boy, you'll see what I mean when we actually do the boss, or maybe the boss itself, probably not, but maybe the sub boss, we'll see. But there are enemies and attacks that do hurt quite a lot now. I noticed this in, I think it was Phi. Some attacks now are dreadfully strong. So there definitely is a difficulty spike. It doesn't feel very streamlined though, I'll be honest. I feel like there are some attacks and some moves that are now insanely strong, whereas others are basically unchecked or almost identical, which is a bit weird. So yeah, I mean, we're playing on a hard server, so getting clapped is fine, or at least I don't really have an issue with that. I do want to get rid of those guys because they do be hurting. Snipers are really a big problem, so definitely get rid of the snipe. There's no... Wait, what? You didn't there? Okay. So yeah, I will make an updated video, or rather I will make a quick video talking about the difficulty in the future as well, because I think this is something that people need to know, should know. But in essence, or a quick TLDR, is there isn't much difference. Neither do I think that the added Starcrom that we're getting is worth the extra efforts or stuff like that. Like, in the long run, yes, if we're talking like maybe 10 seasons, then obviously the difference in terms of Starcrom is going to be there. But ultimately, I think in total I earned over probably, I don't know, 120,000 Starcroms maybe. And getting 2,000 or 3,000 more, maybe 5,000 more or not, isn't gonna make a huge deal in the long run. But it's there, so. needless to say, ultimately it boils down to what your personal preference is. I think a lot of people just went in here for the extra star crown, but I know myself, I was going here because I wanted extra star crown. Like, genuinely, that was the only motivation for me to go here. But as mentioned, everybody has different tastes, or different opportunities and different wants and needs for the game. Because quite frankly speaking, the game was relatively easy on the novice server, but we were on the novice server, so it should be easy, quite literally. That's the point of it. As well as having a very strong and suitable build made playing on the novice server relatively easy, but not everybody has or can or wants to run specific guns, so yeah. That's pretty much it there. In regards to this, other than that, we're just gonna focus on the quick boss fight here. I hate this one. Or that one. Can reload while he stands up. Broken shields. This thing is a bit tanky, but I think that goes... We have that one mutation where they take extra damage on the first hit, and then they take little or fewer damage. Less damage. As I mentioned, I actually need mods here, or I want mods. I don't need them. Mag expansion, first move advantage. I don't think I actually want either of that. I believe, with the current or the potential build idea I have in mind, I need momentum up. I think that is universally the best mod for the planned build, but as mentioned, so this is something we have to try, so I have a lot of farming to do. I don't think I will be able to recreate or try out the builds this week, frankly speaking. Because as I said, there's a lot of farming to do. I pretty much have to refarm all of the mods, and then I have to pray for RNG. These guys are just acting weird. That's a problem with the doggy also. The boss tends to not focus on you, so landing specific weak spot hits can be annoying at times. But yeah, needless to say, these bosses typically aren't much of a challenge. Honestly, it was more difficult for me to clap the super anomaly than the boss. So yeah. What do we got? Yeah, not much here. Anyways, that is it for the first installment, Silo Alpha on Pro Mode. You can see my build still works just fine. There is the baseline still is there. If you run, for example, the fridge boss or anything that doesn't have a weak spot, then yeah, the Memento is not going to be great. But I think we all know that by now. For the rest of the content, my build is working just fine. So hopefully this was giving you some insights and maybe it was enjoyable to see. And I'll see you guys next time.